We had a really wonderful opportunity last summer on the book tour to speak with a lot of parents and listen to their questions and concerns. And wherever we went, people wanted to know, why should we send our kids abroad? What are the benefits? The reality is that a lot of the people we talked to were already on board. It was a matter of preaching to the choir, a little bit like I'm doing now. They already understood the benefits. They already wanted to send their kids abroad. They were happy to be validated in that, and they thought the book was great, and they thought I was wonderful, and that was all great. Of course, there were the others as well, the ones who really asked questions, who were feeling very insecure about the idea and wanted to be proven right, that it wasn't a good idea, that it wasn't safe, that kids were going to be behind if they went abroad, and they were going to be behind their peers, and it would affect their chances of getting into college and getting a scholarship, etc. You see, I know something that these other parents don't know, and that's not because I was a Rotary parent, but because I had to do research to back up my claims in the book. I couldn't just say it was a fantastic experience that led to growth. I needed to talk to an expert. You know about the benefits of the Rotary Youth Exchange program, but the book has more details that will be very convincing to parents who want the facts. They want to hear from a scientist who will explain what is really going on for their kids when they're on their year abroad. And I did find someone. I found a neurologist who was an expert on the adolescent brain and how it develops. And I asked him, what's going on in the mind of a 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old? Or better yet, what's going on in the brain? And he explained that kids of that age are going through a very critical period of both brain growth and brain pruning. And it's basically a matter of, use it or lose it. Whatever kids spend their time doing at that age eventually gets hardwired in their brain. Now maybe they're texting. Maybe they're memorizing the lyrics to their favorite songs. Maybe they're playing soccer. These are all fine things. They're all great skills to have. But as a parent, we have to realize that what they're focusing on at that age is what they're hardwiring in their brain. And could we maybe give them something bigger, juicier, better for their brains to chew on? Consider the Rotary Youth Exchange program and what it does. At a prime time of adolescent brain development, it gives kids an opportunity to experience a new language, a new culture, new friends, new host family, new food, new music, new everything. And just when it starts to get easy for them after a couple, 3 months, bam, it's time to go to another host family, and it starts all over again. This, by design, is exactly what our kids need at that age. You couldn't design a more perfect way for them to maximize the potential of their brains during the adolescent years. What the Rotary Youth Exchange experience does is hardwire in our kids' brains the ability to learn languages easily and to become much more flexible and creative. In fact, I was really excited to hear that a recent survey, a recent study showed that those who spend time living abroad actually do have much more developed problem-solving skills and creativity. It's interesting to note that it's not true for those who travel abroad, only true for those who spend at least 6 months living in another country. They develop more creativity, they develop more flexibility and problem-solving skills. Now, the Rotary Youth Exchange students get to spend twice as much time abroad. So imagine the benefits that they're getting from the time they're spending. And imagine the fact that they're doing this at the age of 15, 16, 17 years old, at the prime time of brain development. It's a win-win for everyone. One of the things I really wanted to be sure to address in the new Global Student is that those who spend time abroad on a Rotary Youth Exchange are not falling behind their peers. In fact, they're leapfrogging over them. They're gaining in maturity, they're gaining in confidence, they're gaining in flexibility, adaptability, problem-solving skills. And yes, okay, they might be missing AP English. They might miss out on reading a few novels, but they can make up for that later. Parents who are worried about what their kids might miss by spending a year abroad when they're juniors or seniors in high school need to know that they're gaining confidence, they're gaining flexibility, language skills, and a much clearer sense of the world and their own possibilities in it. I wrote The New Global Student to give parents ideas, inspiration, and information to help them do things differently, to make sure that they could give their kids' brains a chance to snap, crackle, and pop during a really critical period of their brain development. But I also wrote it as a gift from my heart to Rotary, because you see, Rotary has played such a huge role in my life. I have Rotary to thank for the fact that I met my husband, and I had my 4 wonderful daughters, and that I was able to write this book completely because of the Rotary ties, and I'm very grateful for that. The Rotary Youth Exchange experience really had an effect on our daughters. The oldest one is working in New York City. She's got a master's in urban public health. She's a program director for a nonprofit, and she uses her Spanish every single day in her work with her clients. Daughter number 2 lives here in Buenos Aires, Argentina. She is a marketing director for a Spanish language program. Daughter number 3 is working for Norwegian Cruise Lines on board, and she is doing all kinds of events, multilingual events. She has to flip from Spanish to Portuguese to English all the time throughout the day. And her youngest daughter just graduated from college in the US and is now living in Buenos Aires as well. Everything they do is all about using the skills that they learned on the Rotary Youth Exchange. Rotary planted the seed, and everything else just watered it. And let's not forget, it is the Rotary Youth Exchange program that inspired our family to move abroad back in 2005. At a certain point, after sending our kids on their exchanges, Tom and I looked at each other and said, you know, why should they have all the fun? We want to go abroad too. And so we did. We sold everything. We left the country with a couple of backpacks each, and we moved to Mexico, which was our starter country, and we had a fantastic year there before moving to Argentina. And it was the beginning of a whole new chapter for our family and a whole new series of adventures, and we have Rotary to thank for that as well. The new Global Student can be very useful to you. It's a powerful tool. For all of the people in your community who have maybe heard about Rotary, but they're not really sure about the Rotary Youth Exchange program, it's laid out in the book. There's factual information. There are great stories from students and other experts who talk about the value of the program, so you don't have to. It's one thing for you to go talk to people in the community about how great this program is. It's another thing to hand them a book. You can give a copy of the book to the high school guidance counselors, make sure the libraries have them, any youth service organizations, parents who are unsure about the program for their own kids, and prospective host families. We know how it is as parents to be questioning, and we know what the questions are, and we feel that we really wanted to address these and help them enjoy the journey rather than stress about the process. I created a page on my website, mayafrost.com, that's specifically for Rotary. It's a resource for you. So if you go to mayafrost.com/Rotary, you'll find links to resources. You'll find some funny pictures of Tom and his family when they were Rotary Youth Exchange students way back in the 70s. All kinds of resources, including a link to our YouTube videos and other resources that will help parents make this decision for their child. May 2010 be a year of unprecedented interest in the program. May it be a year of stellar candidates and easy transitions, short layovers, easy visa processes, and a long, long line of perfect host families waiting to sign up. Thank you for listening. I'm very excited about working with you in the future to make sure everyone knows about the great work you're doing with Rotary Youth Exchange. We so appreciate it. It touches many, many lives, and we're grateful. Ciao, un beso.